Hey guys, Uncle Wayno here. Since I started this channel, the question that by far I get asked the most is how do you post your DVDs? So today I'm actually going to show you sort of every which way you can, and you can take bits and pieces from each one and decide what's best for you. Now, your large letters and your parcels don't actually get shipped together. They don't go through the same system. They get sent separately, so you don't have to worry about putting your DVD in a thin bubble mailer and having a 5 kilogram package land on it and break it or whatever. So yeah, they're only going to get sent with other letters, other large letters and other normal size letters, and then your parcels are going to get sent with your parcels. So in saying that, you're going to want to send any normal size DVD, you're going to want to send as a large letter. A large letter has to be less than 20 mil thick, and a DVD inside a bubble mailer is pretty much right on the 2 centimeters. So any disc that's in a normal size case, it doesn't matter how many discs and how heavy it weighs, any disc that's in a normal size case will go in a bubble mailer and fit through as a large letter. Now, when you're sending as a letter, there's 2 ways to send. You got your plain bubble mailer and you got your tracked envelope. Now, if you send it in a plain mailer, it's going to cost you $2.20 for under 125 grams, and between 125 and 250, it's going to cost you $3.30. It does go up to about $5 when it's over 250 grams, but you're very rarely going to get DVDs that go that high. I maybe have a couple a year and that's it. So the tracked envelope, a lot of people like to use the tracked envelope. I've never actually used one. I bought one just to make this video. They are $5.10. I'm pretty sure they're $5.10, or if you buy them in packs of 10, they work out to be $4.85 each. A lot of people like to use these because it's just the comfort of knowing you've got tracking. If you are sending a lot of video games, the price difference isn't that much. Between $3.30, $4.85. If you're sending a lot of single DVDs though, they only cost $2.20 to send. So I much prefer to send them in the bubble mailer, and I will show you my system soon. So if you want the comfort of having tracking, this is the best way to go about it. These actually do not have any protection in them. The bubble mailer is lined with bubble wrap. I know some sellers just send the DVDs, chuck it straight in this envelope, no protection at all, and send it. And to be honest, you're probably not going to get much damage doing it this way anyway. The difference between these two really isn't much. There's not that much protection in here, but you will get buyers who just won't like it. Even if the DVD turns up safely, they will not like the fact that there's no protection around the DVD. So you can get little bubble wrap pockets. I've never bought any myself, so I don't know where to get them or how much they cost. I'm sure they wouldn't cost too much. You can get little bubble wrap pockets, so if you're going to go this route, I'd recommend getting some of those. Or you can actually get some a roll of really thin foam wrap from like Bunnings and Officeworks. It's about $10 for a big long roll. So per disc it really wouldn't cost much at all. It's a bit annoying because then you have to sort of tape it around it. So try to find the bubble pockets if you can, because I really wouldn't recommend sending it without protection. Like I said, it's probably not going to make much difference to the actual protection, but it will make a big difference to your customer satisfaction. Now we've got the bubble mailer. This is my jam. This is how I send all my DVDs. I'm going to show you exactly how I do it. I've had people tell me that this is too time consuming, or it's a waste of time, or it takes too long, too much effort, whatever. But it really isn't. It's pretty much the same as how other people that use the bubble mailers do this. So what I do is I print out my labels on my label maker, the Dymo. If you don't have a Dymo, you can just use your normal printer. You can just handwrite them, doesn't really matter. To put the address on, I usually print out 4 on the big sheet because I can't be bothered changing over the sheets all the time. So it's just easier to do that and then cut them up. And then what you can do is you can just stick stamps on there. You can buy boxes of stamps from the post office and you can just stick them on there. You got to weigh the DVD to make sure it's either under or over 125 grams to see how many stamps you will need. But I don't do this myself. I used to do this, and I used to lose not a lot of packages, but it was pretty sort of semi-regular that I would lose a package. And I pretty much just suspected that it was customers just saying that it didn't arrive. They see the stamps there, there's no tracking. They think they can get a free DVD out of you, get a free refund. So I changed it up a little bit. I actually go into the post office. They can print out little labels, $2.20 and $3.30 labels, and I get them to print the labels out. They weigh them all while I'm in there. It takes no time at all. People think this takes longer, but I mean, if you're sitting at home, you're gonna have to sit there and stick all the bloody stamps on each envelope anyway, and you're gonna have to weigh them yourself anyway. So I just do it while I'm in the post office. Quite often I weigh the packages in the post office while they're sorting out maybe my international orders or whatever. And then this is the one thing that I do that not many people do at all. I take a photo of it. After they have stuck the label on, they slide it over to me and I quickly take a photo and move it into the next pile. I've got my post office staff trained up really well. Taking the photos takes no extra time because I'm only doing it after each one that they stick the sticker on, which they have to do anyway. So it takes no extra time. I come home and I send each of my buyers an email. I don't send out thank you letters. I'm not a fan of thank you letters. If people send me a thank you letter, it goes in the bin and I don't even look at it. So that's why I don't use them myself. I send an email or a message through eBay messages to my buyers to let them know all the little things that I want to let them know, and I just attach the photo at the end of it and I let them know that I've attached it, and I lose way less packages this way. It's crazy. Like, people just see the little printed up label and they think they can't get away with it, so they just accept it and move on. So that's how I do it. I get a lot of feedback from customers. They love receiving the message. It's kind of an old school thing. I used to sell on eBay like 20 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, and it was all messages. There was no automated stuff on eBay. Everything, everything you had to write out in your description. There was no item specifics, none of that crap. Everything was auctions. There was no buy it nows or barely any. And everyone sent each other messages. It was sort of a kind of a social thing. You were sort of forced into this social thing, and we all sent each other messages to, you didn't mark your item shipped on eBay. You sent them a message to say, I've sent your item. So it's kind of an old school thing, but people really love it. And I get to tell them everything I need to tell them. And even during these COVID times, the very first paragraph of the message that I send them is explaining that the post can be slow and all that kind of thing with delays, Australia Post delays and all that sort of stuff. And a lot of them respond to that and they say, that's fine, I totally understand. I get a lot of other people saying, oh, thanks for letting me know, I wasn't aware. And then I just get a whole heap of people that just appreciate the message anyway. There's a few other things in there I let them know. I'm not really going to tell you what they are because they're based on my business, so it's not really going to affect you. You just sort of need to figure that out yourself. But people do really love the customer service, and I get a lot of return customers. You can mix and match. A lot of sellers will send untracked in a bubble mailer for anything that sells under $20, and they will send tracked in an envelope for anything that sells over $20. $20 seems to be the line that most people like there. Personally, I'll make my own judgment on a customer's account. Basically, I'll look at their feedback that they've left for other sellers. And if it's all flawless, they've been around for a long time, they know the drill, they've never left any negative feedback for anyone, I'll just trust them and send it. I trust Australia Post, they usually get them there. If it's a super expensive DVD or game, I'll just send it tracked no matter what. But yeah, if there's any red flags at all and it's sort of over $20, $30, I will send it tracked. I did say earlier that I've never used one of these. That's because I'm lazy. And when I need to get one of these tracked, it's not very often that I send a DVD tracked. So when I need it to be tracked, I still put it in this and I go and register it. It actually costs me an extra $4.50 or whatever instead of an extra $2.50. You will occasionally get one that just doesn't turn up. Funnily enough, it's always the cheap ones that don't turn up, the $10 or $15 ones, which just makes me even more confident that Australia Post haven't lost it and the person is just lying. But occasionally you will get one. If you're sending lots and lots of DVDs out, some weeks I send 100 DVDs out. If I send them out here, it costs me $2.20, $220. If I send them with this, it's going to cost me $485. So it's a big difference in 1 week. And if I have to refund one every now and then for $15, I'm still saving hundreds of dollars. I can't even remember the last one I had. It would have been at least over a month ago. I've probably only had 4 or 5 for the whole year, and it's November now. So I'm saving a truckload of money by not sending them tracked and sending them untracked. So that's it. I've been asked this question so many times, and I've been promising this video for a while now, so I've finally done it for you guys. So I hope that helps you out. You don't have to do it exactly how I do it. You don't have to do it any certain way. You can take bits and pieces from each thing that I've told you and mix them together if you want. It's just sorting out what you think is best for your business and the best way to run your business. So I'll leave it here. I hope that helps. Look after yourself, be kind, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers! Or with a tracked envelope, it's going to cost you, I'm not even sure what these cost, $4.95. Fucking hell, I'm a dickhead.